was suggested that I talk about maladaptive coping techniques and how they manifest with a person with avoidant personality disorder. And I think that that's a really good idea, although frankly I'm a little scared that I could be triggering somebody with this conversation. I hope that's not the case. But coping techniques in general, they're just how you deal with stress and anxiety. And maladaptive coping techniques, they don't sort of get you over the stress and anxiety. They don't really feed it. They sort of maintain it. And so they'll get you through with whatever you're doing, but your life is going to basically stay in the same spot it's been in. And so there are many different kinds of maladaptive coping techniques for avoidance. Obviously, first one is to avoid people and situations where you'd have to deal with people and avoid feeling like you're a burden or like you're bad or that you're making somebody else's life worse or whatever, or that you're going to be judged by people, so you just don't be around people because you won't have those feelings if you just simply avoid them. And then, of course, there are sort of physical maladaptive coping techniques. And I have done a few of those. I tend to do things that I have to take care of myself because basically because nobody takes care of me. And I don't take care of myself unless I'm either sick or injured. So I will take care of myself afterwards. It's really too bad that I can't get straight from the something has caused me stress or anxiety and then go directly over to self-care. But I can't do that. I have to first sort of damage myself and then I can care for myself. So I can figure out a way to skip that little step. There are also sort of emotional maladaptive techniques. For example, suicidal ideation, where you can sort of warp the world, or catastrophizing is another one, where if you sit and think of all worst case scenarios before something happens so that you're prepared for them and you can handle them. I mean, that's great that you're thinking that way, but in reality what you're doing is getting yourself anxious and scared about whatever you're going to do because you're thinking of all the things that you've already thought of, of which maybe one, but probably none of those things are ever going to happen. So you get yourself worked up for nothing, basically. But the other side is that you feel more prepared. Like you've got a handle on your anxiety because you know what's going to happen. You know the worst case scenario. You usually can't handle the best case scenarios when they come up, and they're even more stressful, but there it is. And as far as other categories of maladaptive behaviors, I'm sure there are more besides those. But those are examples of the types of things that you might do. Again, it's if it makes you feel better, but stuck. You feel better temporarily, but you're not actually making any progress, and the original problem is still there. That's when it's maladaptive. Now, I don't actually think that all maladaptive behaviors are not good. I don't think they're all bad. even some of the worst things I don't think are that bad. I suppose, though, you gotta watch out for being addicted to them, because they can be very addictive. Either because of, the adrenaline rush that you get thinking of terrible things that could happen, or the self-care that you do afterward. And of course the reinforcement of not actually having to confront your anxieties. That's also very addictive. But so look at it like an alcoholic. Now I'm not talking about the avoidancy, I'm talking about the coping techniques. If you're doing something that's keeping you from being able to go to work, if you're doing a coping technique that is completely running your life, for example, I will only go grocery shopping at 11 o'clock at night because that's when there's nobody there, but oh my goodness, I've run out of toilet paper. I guess, I don't know, I'm going to use leaves off my plant or something because I refuse to go to the store until this certain time because that's the safe time. Something like that. When it takes over like that, it's time to try to do something different. And actually, I have quite a few of them that I cycle through so I don't get sort of addicted to one at any given time. And maybe that would be helpful if you didn't let yourself get locked in. And avoidancy is pretty bad. So I wouldn't want to hope that you would ever get to the point where one of your coping techniques took over more of your life and was worse than the avoidancy. But that's what I'd watch out for, is those types of things. But again, I think that they're perfectly okay with getting through. But I also encourage anybody with avoidant personality disorder to try to push against those anxieties a little bit. Not like go to the karaoke bar and be the life of the party all of a sudden, but maybe walk down a street that you don't go down and look somebody in the eye and talk. But you'll never see them again, never have to deal with them again, but just practice. And that maybe getting over those fears in a very small way, confronting, being able to handle the anxiety in a small way, in addition to your coping techniques that allow you to prolong the existence. But you try a both and push against that anxiety and know that you can sort of get through it without collapsing. But small steps, not taking on the world all at once. And it isn't a black and white. It really isn't. It might feel like it, but it's not black and white. And use your coping techniques, whichever ones that you have while you're doing it, and hopefully over time you can